Welcome to Live at 8, folks. Great to see you. Happy Labor Day. That's right. It's Labor Day. And I hope you guys are having a great day off. No school, no work, right? And what a great way to start the week. My name is John. If I haven't met you yet, a whole bunch of you guys are watching this at wearemission.online. Good to see you guys. Love that we get to kind of text and comment back and forth. Hopefully you guys are having a great start to your week. A number of you will watch this on Instagram TV or on YouTube, no matter how you are taking in this content. I'm so glad that you are. And we're going to get through this thing together. Today is episode 7 of season 2. So we're on our way. We're going to do 13 weeks of season 2. A bunch of you friends are listening to this on the podcast, perhaps on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Hey, if you would, sharing is caring. Go ahead and share that with a friend. You could even write a review. That'd be great. We want to get the word out on content that is helpful for such a time as this. And so here's what we're doing. Every Monday, we have a theme. It's called More Monday because I get to talk a little bit more about what I was talking about on Sunday. So Sunday was fantastic. It was week 2 of everything up and running again. We are one church in 3 venues, online, at the building, and in watch parties. And so this was our second week in our kind of new rhythm, and it was pretty exciting. We had even more people come out to the building this past week. That's our newest venue that we've reopened, and so that was so encouraging. I saw so many of you guys, and it was a delight to see you. Anyway, what we're talking about as a church is the way forward. The way forward, the way forward. That is the phrase of this season, that there is a way forward, and this is, in many ways, learnings that we're pulling from the life of Moses. Moses knew what it was like to feel lost. He knew what it was like to feel in the midst of unexpected challenges and trials and uncertainty. And yet he found his way forward. He didn't quit. No, he kept moving forward. What I shared with you guys on Sunday, was the way forward is around with perspective. The way forward is around with perspective. Perspective is how you see and interpret everything around you. Simply put, your perspective is what you are looking most intensely at. And if you watched the message or heard the message, I did this little demonstration where you can close your eye and you can stare intensely at your little thumb, and you can block out the amazingness, the hugeness, if those are words, of the sun. I used to do this as a kid. I would close my eyes, I'd look at my thumb, and I would block out the sun. How is that? Well, my perspective was my thumb. That was what I was looking most intensely at. And the same is true for us as adults. We can actually allow the smallness of our lives to block out the reality of all the lives around us. Your perspective, especially right now. You can get so internal, you can get so fixated on your life that you can literally miss all the lives around you. You can also fixate on just how small Earth is and our time on it, and we can miss the scale and the scope of eternity. How is that? Well, it's your perspective. And so I just think perspective, man, it is one of the most powerful things in the universe. It's amazing how 2 people can go through the same exact thing, yet interpret it in 2 different ways. As I said yesterday, the optimist sees the donut, the pessimist sees the whole. And we are siding with Moses to have a kind of perspective that doesn't close our eyes and focus on what's right in front of us. Instead, we're seeing the kingdom of God. We're believing that God is at work. Yesterday, I shared with you guys how the way forward, when it comes to our perspective, we look back in belief, and forward in faith. Back in belief, forward in faith. I want to give you 2 more directionals with perspective, because I said the way forward is around with perspective. Well, back, forward are just 2. There's also up and down. And so I want to give you up and down today. I didn't have time to fit it into my message, but I want to give it to you today as we begin our week. The way forward is around with perspective. So back in belief, forward in faith. Here's 2 more. Number 1, up in mentorship. Up in mentorship. That's right. Up in mentorship. I want to ask you, who are you spending your time with that is not your age? That's not your age. And that is farther along in the journey. Who are you spending your time with that's lived a little bit, right? Our perspective a lot of times is formed by our life experience. That's normal. But there's actually a lot at stake when your life doesn't have that much experience. And so I just think it's so important for us that are younger, and I'm not the youngest guy in the room anymore, but I think it's so important for us that are younger to spend time intentionally with folks that are older. Why? They've lived a little bit. They've lived through heartbreak. They've lived through downturns, and they've lived through recessions. They've lived through all kinds of things. They've lived through unemployment. They've lived through so many different things. It's really important. Your perspective oftentimes is built on your life experience, and that becomes a major problem when your life doesn't have that much experience. I shared with you yesterday some of the reports by Barna. 35% of American Christians have stopped attending church altogether. That includes online as well. 50% millennials have stopped attending church altogether, online and at the building. I think this is really, really important, guys. We got to spend time with folks that are just further along the journey than us. We have to do this. We need to go up in mentorship. We need to seek it out. Just a couple thoughts for you guys. I have a lot of mentors because I need a lot of help. There's a lot of pressure on me to lead in a way that honors God and inspires people. And so I have a ton of mentors. Most of my mentors I've never met. It's true. Some of you get into this mindset of you got to have one mentor. I actually recommend the opposite. I think actually we need a lot of mentors. We actually need many, many, many people that we can, in many ways, borrow their wisdom from. This is Proverbs 13:20. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a company of fools suffers harm. Or how about this from Proverbs 15:22? Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Many. All right, that's Proverbs. That's straight up wisdom right there on Monday. More Monday, right? Many advisors. So let's not just have one advisor. No, let's have many advisors. And so most of my advisors, most of my mentors, I've never met. A guy by the name of Brian Jarrett, pastor down in Texas. Guy's amazing. He has no idea who I am. Tim Keller. Oh my goodness, maybe the best preacher in the last 100 years. Incredible theological mind. How about Tony Evans? Man, I love Tony Evans. He doesn't know who John Peacock is. Never will, most likely, right? Those guys, man, I listen to those guys. There's so many different podcasts that I'm not just taking in content. No, I'm taking in wisdom. I'm allowing them to mentor me. It's different people that I have read this summer. Everybody Always. What a great book by Bob Goff. He's like a mentor of mine that I've never met. Why is that? Well, with many advisors, I'm going to succeed. And I'm not saying it's easy right now, but I am succeeding. I am flourishing even in a time like this. Why? Well, I've got up in mentorship happen. And by the way, I do have some mentors that I know and that know me. I think of my father-in-law, Mark Petridis, one of the wisest people that I've ever come across. And he will say things to me at just the right time, send me podcasts at just the right time. I think of my mom and dad. You guys, I know you're watching this. I watch your life, and I have since day one. And in many ways, you're setting the pace. Let me just use this as a little opportunity to commend the Mission Legacy community. Mission Legacy, you are the pace setters in our church right now for how to be courageous in such a time as this. You are, Mission Legacy, truly, you are setting the pace at how to gather differently online, at the building, and in watch parties. Who are the most folks that are throwing watch parties? The oldest people in our church. This is just fascinating. You guys are crushing it, and I want you to hear from my heart how inspired I am by your faith. You really are. You are setting the pace. Perhaps it's because you've lived through a little bit, haven't you? You've seen some things before in your life, and you are not moving backwards. No, you're moving forward. So I think of folks like my mom and my dad, mentors of mine. I think of Mike Bro, mentor of mine. I think of Dick and Sybil Towner. I think of Kelly Bird. I think of these different voices that I listen to. I see how they're walking through these moments right now, and I'm learning from them. Why is it? Well, I need to borrow their life experience, right? I'm only 41 years old. I haven't lived through that much yet, right? I need to borrow their life experience, and in doing so, I'm walking in the company of many advisors. Let me ask you this way. Who are you following, and is it helping? Who are you following, and is it helping? So many right now, the main people you're following is CNN or Fox News. You follow the news more than you follow a person that actually can help you walk in wisdom. I'm not against getting information, but we got to be careful, man. How do we know that the information we're getting isn't like coming through some kind of filter? Yeah, I don't know. So as I've been very vocal with you guys, I'm completely off of Facebook. I've made my smartphone a dumb phone. I parent my phone. It has a bedtime at night, and I wake it up at 8:30 in the morning. Why? I am being so careful at what and who I am learning from right now. I need advisors that have my best interest in mind. I need advisors that love Jesus first, that are dreaming of the kingdom of God, that aren't going backwards, they're going forward. So if you need a perspective tune-up, well, certainly it's back in belief, it's forward in faith, it's also up in mentorship. It's up in mentorship. Here's the last one I want to talk about, down in discipleship. Down in discipleship. 1 Corinthians 11, verse 1. Follow me as I follow Christ. Why do I think a perspective tune-up can really help when it comes to down in discipleship? Well, it's because you walk differently when others are watching. You walk differently when others are watching. Now, I actually don't like working out, but I do it because I need energy, and I'm trying to be fit, and my girls are going to be dating sooner than I'd like, and so I gotta stay strong. So I run, I bike, I do all kinds of stuff. Here's what I've noticed about me. I run the fastest when I get to intersections. You know, I live in Carroll Stream, and I'll get to like an intersection like County Farm and Lies Road or Lease Road, depends on who you are. That's when I get like this head thing going, right? I'm not like all tired in that moment. It's because there's like so many people in that intersection in their cars. I don't know what it is, man. I got it going in that moment. And I'm like running, I pick up my pace. Why is it? Well, you walk and run differently when others are watching. One of the greatest gifts there is in discipling other people is it actually helps you walk better. Can you say right now, follow me as I follow Christ? Well, let me just tell you, if you're walking in fear, you can't say that. If you're walking in courage, perhaps you can. And this is what I found as I pour my life into the lives of some other people. I don't disciple many people. In fact, I disciple very few people because I don't have the time, and I want to do a good job. But I think about one of the guys that I pour my life into. He's a pastor down in Georgia. I mainly am discipling pastors now. Man, it keeps me on my game. I think about when we've invited people to live with us. Me and Kelly love to take in families and individuals, and we've taken a lot of folks in. I live differently when I have someone living in my house. Why? It creates a game night for me. It's like the Friday night lights are on, man. I walk differently when people are watching. This principle holds up within A&A. Some of you have heard of A&A, probably most of you have. Alcoholics Anonymous. A lot of folks in our church have gone through AA. I commend you guys. Keep going one day at a time. You have told me the best way to stay sober is by helping others stay sober. Isn't that interesting? It's amazing. The best way to stay sober is by helping others stay sober. And so you begin to mentor, you disciple, you give your life away into the lives of others. Now is not the time to isolate. No, it's the time to give your life away. Why? You only keep what you give away. You only keep what you give away. You only keep what you give away. How do we keep courage? By giving it away. How do we keep this kind of enthusiasm and inspiration? By giving it away. How do we keep belief and faith? By giving it away. Who are you investing your life into right now? Some of them live in your home. Some of them share your last name. Others don't. What if you were to show up this week? I promise you, when you do, and when you go down in discipleship, it actually affects the way that you walk. Perspective, man, it's everything. It's everything. It's so important, right? Some see the donut, others see the hole. I'm seeing the donut. I'm walking forward with a kind of perspective that is optimistic, with a kind of perspective that is believing that the best is yet to come. I believe that. And I need others to help me keep believing that. That's why I'm going to go up in mentorship, and I'm going to go down in discipleship. Why? I walk the best when others are watching. I hope this was helpful for you guys as you start your week today. If you would, right now you could share the link. Here's the YouTube link. Bam, you can share it with a friend. Why not? Hey, text it to them. some friends of yours right now are struggling, they're hurting, text them this link. Get the word out. And by the way, it's not too late to register for our growth track. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here's another link for you for our growth track. We want to see you grow intentionally this fall. Who knows? You might meet a mentor there as you circle up. Who knows? You might meet someone that you can disciple. We love you guys, and I will see you guys on Wednesday morning. Have a great holiday and start to your week. See you soon.